We want to welcome you all. This is, I hope, an informal but informative, time to spend together as we share some really cool things about Bullis School. I want to kind of get us started with a quick video again to say we're so glad that you're here.
Welcome to Bullis.
We're so glad you're here.
This campus is our home away from home.
And it has everything we need and more to learn, explore, ideate, fabricate, and create.
But what really makes this place special is her.
And him.
And them.
We're a tight-knit community full of students, teachers, and staff who care about each other.
We rally together when everything goes as planned.
And when it's time to go back to the drawing board.
Our teachers inspire us,
prepare us to tackle challenges,
and empower us to be changemakers at Bullis and beyond.
Each of our divisions, lower, middle, and upper, have strong individual identities.
But we love to connect, learn, and play together too, because we're a family.
We express ourselves in morning meetings
and informed discussions.
Learn design processes by first imitating what we admire,
then modifying it to better fit our needs.
And finally, pushing beyond to innovate.
Learning is a lifelong pursuit.
And at Bullis, we indulge our curiosity,
collaborate with each other,
develop grit,
and discover new ways of thinking and dreaming.
This is Bullis.
This is Bullis.
This is Bullis.
This is Bullis, and we're so glad you're here.
So I hope you enjoyed just kind of a quick intro video. Again, my name is Matt Trammell. I serve as the Director of Admission here about Bullis. I'll circle back and tell you a little bit more about me, but I'd like to start by introducing our admission team. We are always smiling like this, and we want to get to know you in person. But I want to start by introducing our admission assistant, Katrina Hunter. So Katrina, I invite you to introduce yourself a little bit here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Again, my name is Katrina Hunter. I've been at Bullis. Coming up this September, it will be 20 years. I have 2 children. I have a son that is a Bullis alum. He came to Bullis in the 7th grade, graduated 2010, and graduated from Morehouse in 2015. I also have a daughter who is currently in the 5th grade, but as of today is a 6th grader. So proud of her. She loves Bullis dearly. And basically I am the front runner for the admissions office. So I'm the person that will greet you and will also help you through this process. I hope today that there's something that you see, hear, and that will inspire you to apply to Bullis.
Awesome. Katrina, thank you. I'm delighted now to introduce Chris Brown. Chris is our admission associate and is just a wonderful representation of our admission office in so many ways. And I'm grateful for all that he has kind of taught me as I've been new into the admission role. And I'm delighted to kind of kick it over to Chris at this point.
Thank you very much, Matt. And I would also like to echo Matt's welcome. We're so glad that you could be part of this new, for us, virtual process of an open house as we've all learned to navigate during these times. I want to say on a personal note, I hope that you are all of your families are safe and enjoying the family time together. I have been at Bullis for 10 years now, and my children actually started Bullis in 3rd, 6th, and 7th grade. I have 2 alums that graduated in 2016 and 2017. And my last one, my 3rd grader, is now a senior. So we're anticipating hopefully a graduation maybe in the June or July timeframe. But I will have 3 alumni very shortly. And I'll put on my dad hat real quick for you. They loved coming to school every day from the time they first landed at Bullis. And I think that your children would find the same excitement of being part of our community. So we look forward to seeing you all come through the process. And thank you for being part of us and joining us today.
Thank you, Chris. And now I'd like to introduce our Associate Director of Admission, Laura Morford, who's been just an incredible addition to our team this year in every way. Laura?
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule today to join us. As the school years are ending and wrapping up, and there's a lot of transition changes with remote learning, we really appreciate you giving us your time. As Matt mentioned, I'm the newest team member to our admission team at Bullis. I have worked my career in independent schools and nonprofits, but I chose to come to work at Bullis because I have a middle school daughter who is a Bullis student who started at Bullis before me, and she was having a wonderful experience. Bullis has been such a warm, welcoming, enriching community to her. Her teachers know her really well. Her friends, she has a wonderful friend group, and the community is just a very loving, caring, and challenging community. So it's been a really positive place for her and for me. And I look forward to working with your families in this coming admission season. So thank you again.
Awesome. Well, I do want to give a quick background. Again, I'm Matt Trammell, Director of Admission. I've been at Bullis. This will be my 7th year coming up. I came here as an 8th grade teacher and taught in the 8th grade civics classroom for a couple of years. I was then assistant middle school principal for 3 years, and then joined the admission team this past summer. And, we have really an incredible team. I think so fondly of arriving in July, and Katrina taught me more about the office and the process than I could have ever expected. And, Chris and Laura have been just incredible colleagues and partners in our work as well. And so we as a team are so happy to meet with you today and in person, hopefully very soon. At this point, I'd like to kind of move us into some specific discussions about Bullis. And I want to start by introducing Lisa Vardy, our Executive Director of Teaching and Learning. Lisa?
Great. Thanks so much, Matt. So good afternoon, all. It is really a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I am finishing my 12th year at Bullis. As you can see, many of us spend lots of our time at Bullis because it is such a wonderful community. This is my 4th year in this role, and I serve as Executive Director for Teaching and Learning for K through 12. I have also served previously as a department chair in the upper school, Global Studies Director, so a number of different roles I've played on campus. Most proudly, I am a parent of 2 Bullis graduates, a rising junior at Brandeis University, who is, of course, home, and also a soon-to-be freshman at the University of Arizona. So I have I'm considering him as he is considered, having graduated already. So my question really I'm going to pose to you is why choose Bullis? And I'm going to speak about the academics piece. And I think our vision statement answers this question really well. We provide an extraordinary educational experience which develops global leaders, who enthusiastically embrace challenge, exhibit strong character, and cultivate community. We give lots of opportunities for upper school students to stretch and soar by providing outstanding academic, experiential opportunities supported by a gifted and very caring faculty. So I'd like to speak now a little about the educational philosophy that we have here at Bullis. And I would describe it, as many would, as very student-centered, relational, forward-thinking, innovative in our approaches to teaching and learning. We intentionally combine traditional knowledge, your English, math, science, social studies in the upper school, with modern knowledge, entrepreneurship, technology, robotics, digital literacy, design thinking, the use of data, as the basis of content that we teach, as we think this will better prepare students to be global thinkers and change agents. We do have core requirements: 4 years English, 3 years social studies, science, math, 2 years world language, 1 year visual performing arts, which Cheryl Terwilliger will talk about in later. But we also offer a multitude of course offerings which allow for lots of exploration in these more modern knowledge. 4 key tenets that drive who we are as teachers and learners here at Bullis. The first is a culture of engagement. Much research that comes out of university correlates success in college with levels of student engagement. Not necessarily grades, but student engagement. We engage students continuously in their learning actively with project-based learning, authentic assessment, and an emphasis on problem solving. We provide lots of challenging coursework, a wide array of offerings, and at various levels, we meet students where they are. We have AP, honors courses, and what we really focus on is skill development, developing historical thinkers, scientists, as we move through it. Third, we have really personalized pathways, which I'll speak of in a little bit, and we provide lots of guidance and support for students. And we have a value-driven academic focus. And what do I mean by that? So we have a set of institutional values, and Matt, maybe if you can move forward, thanks. We have a set of institutional values that have defined who we are as a school: integrity, respect, diversity, service, responsibility. But about 6 or 7 years ago, we also added a set of core academic values: that critical thinking, communication, collaboration, resourcefulness, creativity. And today, what you hear from lots of schools are these are developments. These could be termed as skills or competencies. And we, in the upper school, we measure student growth. Teachers look at this because we know these are really important skills to move forward with for our students. So I'd like to speak now more specifically about really these personalized pathways that we offer at Bullis through our signature programs that are very distinctive from other schools. Yes, we offer a superb college preparatory education with general requirements, which I spoke of, and we also offer these 4 specific pathways that allow students to stretch, soar, delve deeper into their topics of interest. And these 4 pathways, humanities and global studies, STEM, entrepreneurship, and visual and performing arts. And so the components in these signature programs include opportunities for interdisciplinary work, more student choice and voice in both assessments and course selection, additional mentorship along the way through these programs, and a culminating experience, which is just outstanding for students, the 12th grade capstone course. So our 12th grade capstone experience are for seniors who design and pursue a year-long project of interest and close collaboration with a mentor and teacher in a structured year-long course environment. This year-long study culminates in our signature symposium day, where students demonstrate their learning for the entire community. This year, and we always hold this in April, this year we held it virtually. 4 teams presented their business designs in our virtual Shark Tank, and 34 other students presented 30 additional projects to share out with our entire community. So each signature program is led by a director who teaches the core courses in the program in the upper school, and they also develop extra K-12 programming to enhance the experience for our students. So here you can see on our slide these 4 programs and then more specialized pathways within those programs. And Matt and his team can provide more specifics in terms of the course offerings via our academic program guides and also our curriculum guide. So I thought a fitting way to sort of end my discussion of academics is for you to hear from our outstanding 12th grade capstone students about their experience in the program. So Matt, if you could play that video, that would be superb.
So this year my project, I did it on looking at stereotypes through cuisine and understanding how fast food culture has deteriorated authentic cuisine.
The goal of our app was to help people who are struggling with mental illnesses be able to self-maintain their own mental illness.
So what we do here is we start our own company and we basically compete in a Shark Tank-esque competition. And so I'm a part of Dormbox, a company that works as the middleman between the college dorm room suppliers and delivery companies. The people who are paying a monthly or a yearly rate, who are members, can simply just send whatever supplies they need to send to their kids in colleges, whether it be hygiene products or snacks or whatever.
I got into digital music when I was like a junior, and then I need some sort of platform or time to work on my individual interest, and that's how like Capstone was kind of in my mind. It all started with my guitar looping station, and then I wanted to see if there's possibilities I can expand that looping station to connect piano, guitar, microphone to a one-person band basically.
You start with this problem statement, right? and you spend the entire summer just researching. In fall to winter, you're sort of dealing with the deliverable portion of your problem statement. So how are you going to take this idea, something as vague as mental health, and turn it into a viable product that you can pursue the entire year? And we spent most of the winter to spring trimester creating our study, creating the application itself, uploading it to the App Store, and doing all that types of things.
When there's audience and there's people actually listening to your song, your inspiration, and your project was actually really awesome, and I felt that energy. I feel like this is my senior year, and that's like a really good fulfillment to me.
I've learned a lot of things throughout this experience that have helped me for the future. I mean, the amount of communication that we've had to do with adults at a high school level, I think is very, very beneficial, and especially with working with an actual printing company and making sure that the publishers had what they needed and making a real publication with the right bleed marks and the right images and making sure that everything was in order for them to have and be ready to go to print, I think was a very, very beneficial experience.
The most important thing to do if you're choosing a topic is to choose something that you know you're never going to get tired of, so something that matters to you.
If you get the opportunity to do a capstone, 100% do it.
So thank you for the opportunity to presenting about academics. And Matt, I'll turn it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. And, you know, just I get excited every time I think about, you know, some of the projects our students have, you know, have led and then shared with us at the end of the year. At this point, I'd like to introduce Cheryl Terwilliger. Cheryl's the director of our Visual and Performing Arts program and just does an incredible job. So Cheryl?
Good afternoon. This is I'm entering my 23rd year at Bullis, so I've been here quite some time now, and I've really had an opportunity to see this school evolve and grow and develop, and it's been exciting to be part of that for this time. I'm also a Bullis parent. My daughter is a rising 8th grader, and she came in the 6th grade, and her experience has been really, really positive. She loves her teachers. She loves her classes and academic opportunities, the athletic opportunities, and artistic. So it's been a wonderful experience for her, and it's so great for me to have her at school as well. So as far as our arts program, we have a very strong artistic community that really celebrates the visual and performing arts through a wide range of academic courses, extracurricular activities, shows, and performances. So whether on stage or in the studio, the arts are an important component of the Bullis student experience. Through the arts, we give students the opportunity to be challenged in new ways, think critically, to integrate and apply what they've learned across the curriculum, and to gain self-awareness and better connect to the human experience. We offer a student-centered visual and performing arts academic curriculum with opportunities for all students to explore their creative interests and passions within our vast selection of offerings in every area: visual art, music, theater, and dance. In the upper school, students are required to complete a minimum of 1 full credit of studies in the arts. We generally recommend that students begin those studies in their 9th grade year. For students who have already discovered an area of passion and involvement, we recommend enrollment in a year-long course where they can continue to develop and cultivate their artistic practice. And this provides them a clear pathway to advanced level study in their chosen area of interest. And for those who are just beginning their creative journey, we also offer an array of trimester courses that allow students the opportunity to explore a variety of new pursuits. Dedicated students can choose to do the Visual and Performing Arts capstone, as Lisa had mentioned earlier. And those capstone students who wish to focus their talents and energies on serious training in the arts beyond Bullis are also able to prepare and curate their portfolio and audition materials for college applications as part of that course. Beyond our academic program, we also have a robust variety of after-school arts activities throughout the year, including tech crew, dramatic and musical productions, dance, and open art studio. So at Bullis, we really welcome everyone to engage in the arts. It's our hope and our mission that every student finds a home in our program, from the beginner to the very experienced artist. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheryl, thank you so much. At this point, I'm pleased to pivot our conversation over to athletics here at Bullis. And we have Andres Parra with us, our boys director of athletics, and Kathleen Lloyd, who is our girls director of athletics. And so I think I'm going to send it over to Kathleen.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks so much. Good afternoon, everyone. As Matt said, my name is Kathleen Lloyd. I'm finishing up my 22nd year here at Bullis. I am the director of girls athletics. I am the head lacrosse coach for lacrosse. The head lacrosse coach, and I also teach lower school PE. And I'm the proud parent of a 2017 grad who is now going into his last year at Virginia Military Institute. And he was also a Bullis lifer, 3rd through 12th grades. So just some general information at first. Bullis, we compete in 2 different leagues. The boys compete in the IAC, which is made up of 6 schools, and the girls compete in the ISL, which is made up of 15 schools. And these are all in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area. I wanted to start off by talking a little bit about our physical education, activity, athletic requirements that we have here at Bullis and for graduation. The requirement is that all students, 9th through 12th grade, must participate in 2 out of 3 trimesters per year in a sport or an activity. Dre will show you some options and explain it a little bit more on that end. But these are all after school. We do not offer any PE classes during the day, so this is how we supply activities and sports for the kids to participate in. They are, even though we require 2 out of 3 trimesters, they are very much encouraged to participate in all 3 seasons if they would like. And this helps build our sense of community that Bullis is so proud of. Again, 2 out of 3 trimesters, and a couple notes aside of that. In 9th grade, students must participate in a sport or an activity in the fall. After 9th grade year, they do not have to do anything in the fall, but we have them do that in 9th grade so they can get right into our community, meet as many people as they can, coaches, staff, other students that are interested in the same sport or activity that they are. In 9th and 10th grades, of the 2 out of 3 requirements per year, 1 has to be a sport. And again, Dre will show you and explain this a little better about the options. So that's 9th and 10th grade. In 11th and 12th grade, although they still need to participate in 2 out of 3 sports or activities, they can be any combination of the 2. So they can be a sport and activity, they can be 2 activities or 2 sports. And that's our requirements. Keep in mind too that advisors, coaches, athletic directors, we're both here to help the students if they have any questions or need some help picking out what they want to participate in. Very quickly, I want to let you know we also have a full-time sports information director who helps us with everything having to do with athletics and public relations. And then he actually runs our Instagram, our Twitter, anything that is media related. Please follow us, search for our accounts and follow us. They're really exciting and they really show all the hard work that our student athletes are doing. And then also keep in mind that we live stream most of our varsity home games. So most of the sports that play in our stadiums and our gyms will be streamed live. So if you have a relative or a friend out of town or you are traveling, you can watch the game, which is really a great option or resource for everyone to have. And I think that's it. So I'm going to turn it over right now to the boys athletic director, Dre, who will explain a few more things to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Andres Parra, often called Dre. I'm finishing up my 16th year at Bullis, which is remarkable to think. I am a proud graduate of Bullis, and I have a rising kindergartner and a rising 2nd grader at Bullis. So to say I spend my time at the Big B would be an understatement. And I actually married my high school sweetheart from Bullis. So we bleed blue and gold here at my house. Very proud of that. Just to elaborate a little bit on what Kathleen had said, we do encourage community engagement. And by doing so, having our 2 out of 3 trimester requirement at Bullis is something that we kind of pride ourselves on. It allows our students to experience different sports and different activities. On the screen right now, you'll see the list of all of our sports and activities that we offered this year. And I say this year because that doesn't limit what we do for next year. We do increase teams if necessary by numbers. We also increase activities, and we're always looking for different ways to engage all of our students. Our program caters to athletes and those participating activities that are new to a sport and or pursuing a collegiate career. So we are designed to cater to all of our teams and all of our students in that manner. We have coaches who are professional athletes or were former professional athletes. We have coaches that were high-level collegiate athletes, coaches that currently coach in club or in AAU circuits. And then we also have our teachers who are, if they are have athletic background, we encourage them to come out of the classroom and support us on the fields as well. We do pride ourselves on being an extension of the classroom. So our athletic requirements are from 3:30. They start in the upper school at 3:30 and usually go for about 2 hours until about 5:30. And we do try to maintain all the standards that we have in the classroom. We support our core values and make sure that our coaches are communicating that as well. We have a fitness center that is state of the art. It was just redone about 3 or 4 years ago. And in that fitness center, we have a full-time athletic fitness coach and strength coach that supports our teams. So he is able to have workouts for our teams in the summer and have off-season workouts that encourage and help offset the sport-specific workouts that our coaches do. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on. We do have 2 state-of-the-art turf fields, and our facilities are really second to none. We have independent independent fields for almost all of our sports. The 2 turf fields are lit and allow us to have the feature of having night games if we so deem the ability to do so for some of those sports. And it encourages our students to be involved. We did this past year, we did in October, which tends to be Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We kind of prided ourselves in doing a week where we did a pink week, and all of our teams supported each other. They went across from one varsity team to the other. And, you know, for example, I'm the boys soccer coach, and we went over and supported the girls tennis team, and we were all wearing our pink t-shirts. So we find ways to engage our community and show that pride. And athletics is one of the ways that we support that with the extension from the classroom that we take a pride on. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Matt, for the opportunity to speak, and look forward to hopefully seeing you guys on campus in the admission process here in the fall and in the winter.
Awesome. Jerry and Kathleen, thank you so much. I now have the privilege of introducing 2 of our current 9th grade students, or current, I guess, soon to be 10th grade students, both of whom I had the distinct honor of teaching and watching them continue to grow and mature through their middle school years. So first, I'd like to introduce Dylan Malkani. Dylan, say hi, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about your experience at Bullis.
Thank you, Dr. Chamel. Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm in the 9th grade, and I've been at Bullis since I started Bullis in the 4th grade, and ever since I've gone to Bullis, I've really just fell in love with the school, and I've always loved Bullis and everything, all the opportunities they've given me. So I play the violin, I play tennis and soccer. I also do debate. So I feel like I take advantage of all the opportunities that Bullis allows me. All like the arts, academics, athletics, of all their departments have support all the students very well, and I'm really appreciative of that. But I feel I spend a lot of time at Bullis with tennis because of the tennis facility, but also just being there a lot. And I just really love the campus and just being at Bullis. It's like a second home to me. So, yeah.
Awesome. Dylan, thank you so much. I'd like to also introduce Victoria Marshall. Victoria, say hello and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your Bullis experience.
Hi, I'm Victoria Marshall. I'm in the 9th grade at Bullis. I started at Bullis in the 6th grade, so I spent 3 years in the middle, and this week actually marks the end of my first year in high school, which is really exciting. Throughout my time at Bullis, I have been given the freedom to participate in many programs, sports programs like volleyball in middle and high school, and then I participated in track in middle school, arts programs like the International Thespian Society, and countless plays and musicals. Also, I've had many leadership opportunities such as the Emerging Leaders Academy and Student Ambassadors. So far, I've really, really enjoyed my time at Bullis, and I'm really excited for the next 3 years. So yeah.
Awesome. Victoria, thank you so much. We do just want to, before we move into Q&A, just, again, say thank you. We invite you to connect with us further. You can see kind of our mailing address there. More importantly, perhaps our email, and then our office phone and website. We're kind of showing you a really nice drone feature here. And this was actually filmed by Kathleen Lloyd's husband, Ty. So I think he actually filmed this in the last several weeks. It gives you a sense of where our campus, how our campus sits. You're kind of looking there at the top of your screen. That's Falls Road. And then as you kind of pan to the left, it will run into Democracy Boulevard. And our campus sits kind of in that quad that you're starting to see. And then the athletic fields and the gymnasium kind of surround the quad. So, our campus feels kind of like a little college. We love all the green space, and I know our students do as well. So with that, I do want to open us up for questions. I know at this point, I don't know that there's questions yet into the chat, but if you all would like, take a moment or two, type in any questions you have. While you do that, what I will do momentarily is turn our Q&A period over to Laura Morford, our Associate Director of Admission.
Great, thank you, Matt. So we have a question that, Chris, I'm going to ask you if you could answer this question. It's how many students are in our upper school and how many students from outside middle schools come in for 9th grade? Chris, is Chris with me still? Okay. Matt, have you answered that? Thank you.
So basically, we have kind of a progressive enrollment model. Our 8th grade is about 75 students. And then for 9th grade, we typically enroll about 120 to 125 students. So our big jump is from 8th to 9th. And I will tell you, as someone who taught 8th graders and was a middle school administrator, it's a really nice cohort that moves forward to 9th, and they're also ready for new friends, and they have new interests, and it's nice for them to make additional social and academic connections, athletic connections, artistic connections on campus. So from 8th to 9th, our students are very excited to meet their new classmates in 9th grade. And we found that is a really effective enrollment model. And our 9th grade then has a really nice size student body. Classes in the upper school, typically we try to keep them between 15 and 17 students in a class, and it's a really nice balance for us.
Great. Lisa, I'm going to ask, what foreign languages do you offer?
Sure, thank you. So we offer 4 languages in the upper school. We offer Latin, French, Spanish, and Chinese at various levels throughout the students' time at Bullis.
Great, thank you. For Dylan, how do you manage sports and debate?
Well, for us, debate it's considered as a sport in the winter, so it takes up our winter trimester as a sport. So this year I did 3 sports / activities. In the fall I did soccer, winter I did debate, and spring, well, we started tennis. But so I do debate year round, but for that time in the winter, it's a really, we spend a lot of time in it, and we get a lot done in school for the 2 hours we're given for debate. So I feel like it's a really good. It's pretty easy to manage. But in addition to debate, I also do outside of school sports. I play tennis year round too, so it's a little difficult to manage everything with the outside of school stuff. But you just have to plan out your time well and use good time management.
Thank you. And Dre, can you speak to, can a student do sports and robotics in the same season?
Yes, that's a great question. We often have athletes and students that cross over from activities to sports. So anytime we come across those circumstances, what we do is we do our best to balance out what the students' needs are. So depending on the timing and the commitment that they have with the sport and or the activity, we do our best to prioritize and assist them with their time management to get them both done. So is it possible? Yes, we have been able to do it. It takes a pretty special student to be able to manage it and have the responsibility to set aside their time to be able to do both. But it also encourages kind of what Victoria said about the opportunity to speak with adults and be able to discuss their time management as well. So we don't. Is it possible? Yes, but it will stretch the individual's time.
Great, thank you. Victoria, I'm going to start this question with you, and then Cheryl, if you want to fill in any more information. But what are some recent shows from the theater program at Bullis?
So I know the middle school, the past 2 years, the middle school this year did Frozen in the winter. But for the upper school, we did a fall play of Murder at the Howard Johnson. I wasn't in it. In the winter, there was The Wedding Singer, which I wasn't, and it was a great time. It was really fun. And the spring, we were supposed to do a show, but sadly got canceled.
Right.
But yeah, so those are
great. Cheryl, do you want to share any shows from recent years in the past?
Sure. Yes, the upper school spring play this year is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and due to our circumstances, it did not go as planned. But actually, a number of the cast and crew, as well as the technical theater classes, have planned an online sort of virtual, almost like a film-like experience. So that should be coming out fairly soon. So they were still able to kind of creatively produce that play. Also, last year, our musical was Mamma Mia. So I think our last two upper school musicals have been very popular, very exciting. And we really do have opportunities every term for students to do something in the arts after school. And I did want to also comment on that question about robotics and athletics, because I think one of the great strengths of our program is that, and this goes for our academic arts program, it goes for our academic courses in STEM or any of other areas, and the after school program, is students who have interests in multiple areas can find a way to pursue those. So a student who maybe they wanted to do robotics, but they were on did a winter sport. They could take a robotics class, or, so there's different ways to be involved. Like you can kind of piece together your interests by a combination of classes that happen during the day and then after school opportunities. And the nice thing too is that because our arts, our performing ensembles and such, most of them are academic courses, it doesn't preclude students who are athletes from being involved. And I think at many schools, those two areas are scheduled at the same time. So obviously kids have to make some choices, but I think there's a lot of flexibility within all of our programs for students to really pursue all of their areas of interest through a combination of classes and activities.
Wonderful. So the next question I'm going to ask Matt, you to start answering, but then I would really love to hear from Victoria and Dylan as well on their feelings about this question, which is, how do we support diversity? How does Bullis support diversity?
Yeah, so a few things come to mind. First, it's a it's a key component of our core values. It's a key aspect of our strategic planning. I think most of all, on a daily basis, Bullis for me has just been one of the most genuinely warm and kind and just I will say approving communities I've ever been a part of. And for me, on a very personal level, that's why I drive an hour and 20 minutes each way to work here for 7 years, because I feel so uplifted and just valued for who I am every time I'm here. And so, our diversity and equity and inclusion work is ingrained in our academic program. It's also the focus of our advisory program, and it's just an important part of the overall work that we do here at Bullis. I am delighted, Laura, at your suggestion here that we now invite our students to speak to this. So, Victoria, why don't I turn it to you first, and then I'll move it to Dylan.
Matt, can I then follow up with them? I would love to speak a little.
Yeah,
Thanks.
why don't we do this? Let's, Victoria, I'm going to pause just a second on that original plan.
Okay.
Lisa, if you would, please get us started. And Lisa, Vardy, you can turn it over, please, to Victoria.
Okay, so, all right, well, great. So I just wanted to address it from an academic curricular point of view. So in terms of diversity, we have multitude of diversity at Bullis: race, ethnicity, economic, gender, and I would agree with Matt that we are a very welcoming community. Specifically, we looked in our curriculum to make sure that in our social studies, in our English, in our science, that students do see themselves in the curriculum. So we're very specific about that work. Matt talked about advisory. We have co-directors of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, who run a PLC and who do a lot of really strong work with our administrative team to ensure that we are promoting our values the way we should. Students have lots of opportunity in clubs to participate in that kind of work. We have a Black Student Union, a Female Empowerment Club, and a Gay Straight Alliance. So just to name a few, and I'm sure the students could talk a little bit more about that. We have a really wonderful academic magazine that we now have put out for 2 years called In Light Magazine, which is an opportunity for students to express diverse opinion and perspectives. We just came out with a summer edition. I'm sure Matt can send that to you, which really represents lots of our student body and their thought and their perspectives. I would also say in our capstone experiences this year, some of the topics, what we found were that students, so female students in particular, took up a lot of really interesting topics around gender. For example, women's rights in Iran, sports injuries, focusing specifically on females. Another one was gender equity in schools. So again, we have lots of really tangible ways in which our students are empowered and which we as adults deliberately provide opportunities for students and to have these conversations. So thanks, Matt, for that opportunity to speak on that.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Victoria, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah. When I came to Bullis, one of the first things that I noticed was how diverse the school was, and honestly, it just made it so much easier to integrate into the school and just be around everybody. And it's a really caring community, kind of like what Ms. Vardy said. The curriculum at Bullis definitely showcases a lot of different genders and ethnicities. In the 8th grade, we were analyzing a Ta-Nehisi Coates book, Between the World and Me, and I got to hear the viewpoints and experience from people that look like me and that have similar experiences to me. And I have to say that definitely just it was extremely eye-opening. And yeah, I just really appreciate all of the diversity at Bullis. It's really nice.
Thank you, Victoria. Dylan, would you like to add some thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. But one of the things I really love about Bullis is how everybody treats each other the same, and there's no difference there's no one who looks at someone and says, "Oh, I'm not gonna be for." Everyone's in their community and in their family, and no one looks down at someone because of the first glance or anything. And I feel like that's a really important institutional part about Bullis, how everybody treats each other with the same respect that everybody deserves.
Wow, that's awesome, Dylan. Thank you for sharing that.
So the next question I'm going to ask Kathleen, if you could answer this both generally and then also from an athletics point of view, which is, do we have a uniform policy? So if you could talk a little bit about expectations during the school day and then also during athletics.
Sorry about that. So I can, I'm very informed, and I know much about the after school uniform and what we wear to practice and to games. So most teams will have practice uniforms. So they will be given, not all of them, but there are some that will be given certain items that they can wear to practice every day, which actually, I have to say, it makes it very easy for coaches when we split into teams for small scrimmages and the activities and the drills we're doing, so that helps. And then some other teams do have, I wouldn't say requirements as much as suggestions. For example, our varsity girls soccer coach asks that the girls wear a light colored top and dark shorts. Again, this is just to help when kids are running through drills and scrimmages. It really helps organize things. And then the school will issue and give out uniforms for games. These are the ones that we usually collect back, which we're working on for this spring right now. So they're given them at the beginning of the season, and then we'll collect some pieces, not all of them, at the end of the season. Did you want me to talk a little bit about the school uniform?
Yes, that would be great. If you could just talk about, give us general sense of what students are supposed to wear during the school day.
So we do have a school uniform, and maybe Matt, you can follow up on me to make sure that I'm getting all the specifics here. I've been here a long time, so I've seen the uniform look many different ways. So I can tell you there is a uniform code. It's not necessarily, to me, it's not the type of uniform that say you would, you have to wear this skirt, this dress, or these pants. It's more of a code. So girls can wear the kilts, the skirts. In the winter, they have to wear leggings underneath, dark leggings underneath. There's certain shoes that are required that they have to wear, black and brown shoes. And then the tops, we have a summer and a winter uniform that depend on what time of the year, what part of the year. They will wear an Oxford shirt or a button down. And Matt, do you want to talk about the guys and what they may wear?
Yeah, so just a kind of an overall summary for the boys, dress expectations. So basically, it's the Dockers material pants. It can be the khaki or navy blue. I think gray is allowed as well. And then in the fall and the spring, they wear polos. For the upper school, white, blue, the navy blue, or yellow. And then a belt and brown leather shoes. There is an option for dress or for tennis shoes that need to be kind of really simple and understated, and they actually need to be all black. So if a student has like an athletic injury or something, we allow a more comfortable shoe. But most of the time, in the fall and the spring, the students, they're comfortable and it's an appropriate attire. In the winter, we ask the guys to dress it up a bit. Everything stays the same except we replace the polo with a button-up shirt and a Bullis tie.
Great. So Chris, could you speak to the orientation and social gatherings that we provide for new students? And I would suggest maybe focusing on ninth grade students for our audience.
Sure, thank you. I apologize for that. Last time I was speaking while muted.
Sorry, I couldn't see you, so I didn't realize that. I apologize.
No problem. Obviously, we have a lot of uncertainty about what this fall will look like for our new students, but typically, I think there's a couple of things that we do in terms of bringing in our ninth grade students. I think the first, you will get to come in usually a week or so early to figure out where your lockers are, kind of get a lay of the land in terms of where each of the buildings are held. And then that first week, immediately we have some activities that we do. I think traditionally our ninth graders have been sent off to Kaleva and had a couple of overnight an overnight trip, if you will, with their classmates. That's really a great bonding experience. They come back with tales of, canoes that tipped over, or bugs that were in their tent, or just, the conversations that they've had around the campfire that really presents that much needed social bonding that kids will need coming in, whether they're moving from the 8th grade into the upper school or coming from an outside school. Just about half of the 9th graders are coming in new. So don't feel like just because you're coming into Bullis that you won't know anyone. You're in great hands. There's also another aspect of those new students, that you're part of a smaller group of an advisory group, where you'll have 8 to 12 kids in an advisory that will meet a couple of times a week to get to know each other on a smaller group. So definitely lots of opportunities coming in the new school year. Hopefully our fall looks different than it does now, and that we'll be able to have opportunities like homecoming week and a lot of spirit activities that really give students a chance to have that social connection and connectivity with other students.
Great. And I appreciate your making a point about this fall, because I do know there's great conversations happening. We understand that connection, and especially for new students, is very important. And so we want to assure everyone, I know you're looking for a year out. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will all be behind us at that point, and we'll be back to the norm, or a new established norm that allows us all to be together. But this fall, even if we have changes in what that looks like, it is very much a part of the plans to make those connections for students. So I just wanted to make sure that, the wonderful things Chris talked about will still happen. It just may look a little different. I'm going to take one last question, or provide one last question, but there are a number of questions about sort of logistics. Can people drive on campus right now? How are we going to look at students and assess them while school is closed? And then some other logistical questions like, do we have bus services? We will definitely provide answers for all of the questions that we weren't able to get to today. So I don't want anyone to feel that I've passed over their question, but I do want to also be conscious of everyone's time. So we will make sure that we get those answers to everyone. For our last question, I'm going to ask Lisa if you could talk about, do all seniors participate in a capstone project?
Thanks, Laura. So no, capstone is an option for seniors. And I would say over the years, anywhere from 35, we've had up to 50% of seniors who have opted to participate in a capstone experience. So it is an option. It is an honors level option, because it's, again, it's a pretty in-depth project that they work on throughout the year and experience. So no, it is optional, but we find more and more students are opting for that experience.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, Matt, I'm going to turn it back to you. And again, we'll make sure we answer everyone's questions offline.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.